Thanks, Goose. We've dipped into a few episodic games over the last year, so we thought it was time to see how at least 2 of them wrapped up, and if they're worth the full season ticket.
Let's start with Tales from the Borderlands. We actually reviewed the first episode of this at the end of last year, back when we used to score games out of 10 rubber chickens hex.
So old school.
Well, now it's reached its dramatic conclusion in the final chapter, The Vault of the Traveler.
Finally, huh? Yeah, whatever. I don't write this stuff.
Warning, lockdown protocol in effect.
You want to make an army of jacks?
Freaking awesome, right?
That ain't happening.
That could have gone better.
Hex, we've discussed this before, I love the Telltale games and the way they tell stories and all that choice consequence stuff, but I've always found their gameplay mechanics to be a little frustrating and limited. Tales from the Borderlands is a strange exception.
Grab onto something!
I have found this series to be relentlessly fun, and I think that's because it has such a breakneck pace. The story just rocks along, with lots of tense decisions
Reese, I can't.
and moments of frantic Quicktime action that never feel out of place.
Yeah, I'm really glad you liked it too, Barger, because I think this has the best writing out of all the Telltale games. The dialogue is just genuinely funny.
I think some naive part of me wanted to believe you were just misunderstood, but no, you are the worst person I have ever met. And I met a guy who cut off another guy's face and wore it on his face!
Yeah, it's really good, and it's made all these characters so much fun to spend time with. The sort of bumbling hero Reese
Oh, shit.
and the cool con artist Fiona have worked so well as intertwining protagonists.
Yeah, and the supporting cast too.
So, what's the actual plan?
For you to live.
The adorable Loaderbot and kick-ass Vault Hunter Athena, they've all contributed to this being a really enjoyable adventure in the hunt for that elusive vault.
Hit the button!
It's been consistently strong across all 5 episodes, and Vault of the Traveler has everything you want in a finale. There's a really good payoff for all the choices you've made up to that point, plus a satisfying and mysterious final scene. Wow. Which we obviously won't spoil for you, but Hex, what's gonna happen?
You and I can discuss our theories at the end of the show. But one of the other things I really loved about this was that it just has so much fun with its storytelling. For example, all of those so-and-so will remember this messages have been frequently charming.
Oh, hey, you've got something on your face.
I think that's why I probably enjoyed this series more than Telltale's other games, because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, it's been a series so full of wit and cleverness. In fact, I think if you're going to play any Telltale game, make it Tales from the Borderlands. I'm giving this 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm ready for season 2. I'm giving it 4.5 stars as well.
Given the current corporate landscape, there's 3 big changes you could make right here, right now. Which one's it gonna be?
Kinda hungry. Could go for a pepperoni pizza?
You got it.
Okay, well, now we should talk about Life is Strange, the episodic story adventure about a girl called Max who discovers she has the ability to rewind time.
In the previous episode of Life is Strange.
That gun away from me, psycho! No!
Now that it's all wrapped up, we can talk about the full experience without, of course, any major spoilers.
Oh man, this gets dark.
Yeah, this was not what I was expecting at all.
Whatever. It's done.
What began as a kind of innocent team drama in episode 1 delves further and further into a very sinister mystery of missing girls and potential predators.
You better step back before you regret it, girl. I mean it.
I think they did a good job of portraying these themes, though. There is a lot that is implied, suggested, partially shown. It's never gratuitous, and yet you're always aware of the gravity of the situation.
Yeah, I think it's the right tone for this story, which at its heart is a story about friendship.
Photobomb! Photo hog.
What I actually liked most about this game was the way it dealt with the awkwardness of adolescence. The big emotions,
Geez, I can't do anything around here without everybody getting up in my shit.
the recklessness.
Oh, we are toast!
Honestly, it took me back to my teens a little bit, even if these teens got involved in some heavier stuff than I ever did.
Come on, girlie. Shoot me.
In the first episode, we talked about the rewind mechanic and how we hoped it may develop. Hex, did you find it was used well as a device throughout the game?
Well, I found I enjoyed it most when it was used with the puzzles. You had to try and find your way through an area by moving objects around, then rewinding time after you've moved from one place to another to solve a problem.
Max Guyver strikes again.
Yeah, I like that too. When it came to conversations, though, it was pretty obvious.
You want these keys right here.
When a conversation didn't go your way, simply rewind and try a different answer.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm afraid I'll have to take your keys now, asshole.
I was hoping there'd be more complexity there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in the first episode, we talked about choosing the lesser of two evils, and I kept on coming up against more and more of those moments here. Sometimes I'd let a scene play out, then rewind and choose the other option, and then wonder if I should just go back to the first one.
You and you're all dead.
There's just no clear right decision, and it can be so hard to predict what effect these choices will have.
Max's powers did evolve though, and it was good to see more dramatic consequences of that butterfly effect play out. The entire premise of this story is set around a vision Max has at the start of a terrible storm.
Yeah, and the storm is constantly brewing, and the more Max messes with the timeline, the less control she seems to have over the world around her.
I don't feel so super.
As a narrative adventure, it's a pretty exciting story to be so actively involved in, isn't it?
Yeah, and just from those percentage stats that you see at the end of every episode, you can see that there are some pretty significant decisions that have quite different outcomes, often based on multiple choices.
Yeah, it's lots of little decisions you make along the way that will affect that final confrontation. Persuasion is also a big part of this game. You need to say the right things.
Who says we have to be enemies? I hope I can believe you, Max.
Sometimes you can rewind and try again.
Victoria was wrong about you. Now I have to be alone for my nightly anxiety attack.
But as Max struggles to control her gift, things don't always go her way.
Overall, I enjoyed this a lot, and I think it's quite a beautiful game. And the tension and drama ramped up at a good pace throughout all 5 episodes, with some brilliant cliffhangers. But that ending, Hex, after all the nuanced decision-making that you make throughout the game, I just didn't feel like those choices mattered enough, and I was a bit disappointed, and I think others maybe too.
I really liked it, actually. I think it kind of reached this point of clarity that Max had been searching for all along.
Maybe I'm just stumbling back and forth in time. For what reason?
You didn't stumble when you saved me, Max.
I mean, I do know what you mean. It would have been great if after all those branching choice trees, there were like 10 different possible endings to this, but that's no easy game-making task. And for me, it was more about the journey that led me to that point. So I'm giving this 4 stars.
I'm giving it 3 stars.
Anybody seen Kate Marsh?
I think everybody has seen Kate Marsh by now.
Sounds like you're giggling about a video gone viral. I wonder how it would feel to have false images of yourself shot out all over the world for people to judge.